check that out. How cool is that? How cool is that? I call it my Iron Man machines. It's just sat here because there's a loud noise when you turn it on. I suspect it's a fan. The reason I haven't really tackled this earlier is because I've been waiting to find another machine. And all of these years, I haven't found one. Until 7 months ago, I did find one. And it's been sitting on my driveway. Let's go and have a look. It's actually been sitting on my driveway for, I think, the past, like I said, 7 months. I brought it back. I actually tested it out. I think it's a goer. I actually think it works. And it's, you know, it's a bit banged up. It had been pushed as well by the bulldozer. But when I did turn it on, it worked. It worked fine. We're going to turn it on again, like it's okay. So let's turn this on. Nice, so let's just play this and have a listen. That sounds a bit rough to me. I'm just going to kind of, let me just have a listen. I can't hear. Well, I mean, it's coming out from somewhere, but you can't really locate it. Hey, listen, give me 10 minutes. I'm just going to reconfigure this entire setup so it's going to be easier for you to see. It's a bit messy at the moment. Alright, so I cleaned up a bit. It's looking a bit nicer. I can't stress to you how much a clean working space when I'm doing a repair like this. It is important to kind of clean up every now and then and kind of get that blank canvas happening. So I've done that, but what I thought we would do is quickly, I have actually just done a load of washing. This is it here. I thought we'd turn this one on, so I actually can't really remember. I remember that it seemed pretty good when I turned it on when I first picked this up. Several months ago. So I got some power. Let's just plug this in. Okay, so let's just turn it on first, make sure it powers up. It's good. Hit play. Oh God. Oh, that sounds terrible. That sounds worse than the one that we're working on. Oh, what the hell? That's really weird. I was certain that that was a goer. Oh, listen, you know, I did, when I was bringing it up these ramps earlier, it did topple over when we got up to the top, but that still shouldn't really affect it, even though this actually sounds a lot worse than what we're working on. You know what it sounds like? It sounds like maybe one of these wheels are a bit dodgy and it's giving that bit of a thumpy sound as the bowl goes around. But damn it. I wanted to put that washing in and make sure that it was all drying, make sure the pumps inside were working, because I was actually looking at a couple of the pumps in here, like that one down the bottom there. It looks pretty rusty, even though I know it works. I was actually thinking maybe I could even replace, you know, the pump out of that red machine with the pump that's in there. Listen, I'm not going to do the wash now. That sounds terrible. What I am going to do, I've decided I'm going to throw that out. I don't want it, so I'm going to strip it. I'm going to pull all the parts that I can use out of that for future fixes and so forth. So let's just open her up. We'll get inside. Listen, we won't do that right now. We'll do it in a couple of minutes. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull that apart, try to get some, you know, all the parts that we want out of it. Hopefully it's not the same problem as what we're experiencing with this machine here. So let's get back into this machine. That crow is seriously pissing me off. Shut the F up. Okay, sorry guys. Let me just turn this light on. Now what I did before, while I was cleaning, just before I started cleaning, I actually put this belt back on, right? So this belt is basically turning the fans in there as well as there. So what I also did, let me just show you, I don't know where I'm going to stick you. Let me just put you over here, see if you can see what I'm doing. I actually put my ear here like this, and I spun it. It sounds like it's actually in here that the problem is, not there like I suspected. And I also put my ear on this one. It does, now that I've done it again, it kind of almost does sound like, it's louder in here than it is in here. So, listen, I'll tell you what I think's going on. I'll tell you what I have a feeling is going on. It feels, and I'm looking at this, you know, I keep looking at this armature here that comes from the motor straight into where the fan's attached. It looks like it's offset. I don't know, I have a feeling that that armature might be bent, and every time it turns inside here, if you actually look, and let me go and grab my, listen, I'm not going to go and do it. I was going to get my mobile phone and stick it in there and shine a light, because you can see the fan moving, and the fan does have a slight kind of unevenness type of wobble to it. So that might mean that the edge of the fan could be maybe touching that dark thing every time it's going around, if that is slightly bent. But hey, listen, let's actually just take this off. If I keep doing all of these other things to show you, this video is going to go forever, and I have a feeling this might actually turn into a two-parter, this video. Hopefully not. Let me just go and find my driver. So I'm going to take this back cover off. And no, yeah, there is a screw down here, if you're wondering, so you have to take the bowl off to take this off. And this one here. Let's see if we can lift this up. Oh, there we go. It's actually pretty cool. This is like an audio, this is what they'd use for audio insulation in home cinema. Just put these screws in there. Now let's take a closer look. Let's see what happens when we spin this thing. See how there's a slight wobble to it? It's only slight, and it is definitely offset. See if I can get you a better shot. It's not touching anything though. It's not actually touching anything as it spins, and the sound's still there, so what I thought was happening is obviously not the case. I have a feeling the motor, it might be in the motor, which is going to be really weird. Hey, listen, let's actually take this cover off now. And speed things up a bit. Let's take this cover off. Where can I put this light? Okay, let's see if we can lift this up. There we go. I'm just going to flip this over, just leave it sit there. You guys probably can't, my head's probably in the way. Actually, let me put you over here. You can actually sit on the machine inside. Okay, that's better. Now, let me have a look here. What's going on? Where's this noise coming from? this fan's not touching anything either. I think it's the motor. I think the armatures may be bent. You know what I'm also seeing? I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me just stick you here now. It should be better. Now, I'm actually just looking at this. See this part here? This actually holds the motor down. This is should be holding it in place, and this actually looks like it's bent. This here looks like it's on an angle, which it shouldn't be on an angle. So, I have a feeling, I don't know, maybe this... Yeah. I don't know if... I'm going to take that fan off just to rule that out. I know that's not the problem though. I think I'm going to have to take this belt off. By the way, when I was putting this little belt back on, it was so difficult. You wouldn't think so. There's a bit of a trick to it. You actually have to have this side of the belt here on this side rather than that side. It's really hard because when you start turning it on this larger wheel, it slips down in here. So you kind of have to have it so that it's on this side more. It's very difficult. You'll have to, if you're going to do this, you'll work it out. But it did take me a little while to get it. Okay. There we go. We'll take that off. And what we'll do is we'll actually take this off here as well. I've actually put the tension back on. So listen, where's my driver? That should be coming up. Why is that not coming up? Oh, sorry. I didn't see it. There's another screw in there. Alright, now it'll be easy. Let's try it again. There we go. That should just come up now. Let's see if we can get that out of the equation. All right, let's see if we can get this fan out of here. All right. Ah, there we go. Let's spin it. Got nothing, no noise. We've got a slight little one on this side, but that's not part of the problem, that's for sure. So, what the hell? What's that telling me? Look at that. So you can see there's movement in there. But if I spin it like that, it's very, very slight. So, I don't know. I don't know. But that has completely gone now that I've removed this. I don't think that's part of the problem that we were having before, that noise that you can hear. No. Listen, are you guys still watching? Is this video still working? Yep. Sometimes I keep talking to the camera and the camera's actually stopped recording. But, listen, I don't know. Listen, what I might do is actually put this back on and have another listen. Because like I said, this looked like it had moved. I can't see any splits or cracks or anything like that. This thing looks good. The part that it's plugging into looks fine. In fact, we should pull the whole motor out. Let's actually pull this earth wire off. If I can grab something to do that. Okay, and let's just disconnect the motor, the power to the motor, like that. This should just lift up. Okay. Let's have a look at this. This fan's fine. You know, I think there's just a bit of movement in this motor. Yes. Sorry, peoples. I'm just kind of talking to myself and trying to work this out. Put you back up here. Yeah, it's got movement. The armature, it moves. I can hear it. Listen to this. I'll put my microphone down there. But honestly, I wouldn't have thought that that would have made that kind of sound that we were hearing when it was spinning. But who knows? When it's connected up to all of that plastic, it does, you know, kind of turn into a bit of an amplifier. Listen, what we might do, listen, I'm going to actually put this back in just quickly, and just spin it again, and see if I hear the same thing. I'm sure I will, and if I do, what I'm going to do is go over to that other machine, strip it down. We'll do a quick time lapse because we already know how this is going to come apart, and we'll pull everything apart until I get to the motor. But while I'm doing it, I want to see if, you know, I can identify the problem that machine's got as well. But yeah, see, there is movement there. I just picked it up by here, and as soon as I picked it up, I could feel it lift up about a millimetre or two. Maybe it's just a bad bearing in the motor or something. Anyway, all right, so listen, I'm going to put this back. I'm going to try and put this back in here to a point where I can spin it with both fans on. Look at that, there's a bit of water down there. Shouldn't be there, I'd imagine. Okay, so let's just put this back in. Alright, so let's spin this again. Hold it down. It seems to have gone. It's not as bad. You can just hear the tiny one that's at that end, but I think it's the motor. You can actually see that this wheel is, like I said earlier, is kind of wobbling. I think this armature is, yeah, there you go. It's got movement in it. That's what we were hearing before. Doesn't seem to be doing it as badly now. But having said that, I don't really, if I've got no choice but to put this back together with this motor, I will. But let's go and open that other machine up and see what the motor is in there, what that's like. Like I said, I hope it's just these wheels on that other machine that are stuffed. Yeah, there's definite wobble and movement in that armature. I'm pushing the motor down as hard as I can. Hear that? So yeah, so you know that there's tension. This gets pulled down by a spring. I just think when it's you know in normal spinning mode that this has a bit more flexibility, and that's what you're hearing is this armature just moving around. Okay, I can spend ages talking about that. So let's come across here and shit, I don't want to take this apart, but I'm going to have to. Let's set you up here, I guess. My camera's going to fall over. Alright, that's better. I'll just set you up and then I'll pull this apart. We'll do a time lapse, okay? Wow, so this machine is in pretty bad shape. That's the computer, by the way. Look where the computer is. It's just hanging there. It's just hanging there. So I'd say that's happened when it was maybe pushed. Although I actually think, no, hang on a second. Look at this. So the cover isn't on the front of that computer and I can't see it in the machine either. So it looks like maybe someone's gone in there and taken the cover off. Maybe they've looked at this before. But having said that, it does look like it's kind of snapped as well. But yeah, I think someone's had a look at this. Now I can't. Let's have a look down here. I did look at the other side. This roller. This one feels good. It looks good. But there's a little bit of movement in there. But on the other side, it's really bad and it does make a bit of a noise. I'll take you over. Man, this is really dirty, this machine. I guess it's probably seen a lot more work than that red one, because that red one hadn't seen much. All right, let's have a look at this. Actually, this isn't as... No, this is just the same as the other side. There's a bit of... I don't know if that would cause that problem. You wouldn't think so, right? Gecko just came running out of this machine. So let's have a look at this machine here. Let's check this out. Let's just push this across there. I'll just move this computer out of the way. Yeah, I actually have a feeling it's the same problem. You guys can't see this, but I'm looking at that armature, and let me go and grab a light. You know how I said that armature was really offset? It's not like in the center like you would expect it to be when it goes into this ducting here. It was kind of off center a bit. Well, it's definitely off center on this one. It's actually even worse, which kind of would explain why it does sound worse than the other one. If I can get this light to... I'll hold it. I'll show you. See if you can see in there. Now, you can't really see it, can you? Down there. You can actually just see it. It's actually touching the side of the it's actually touching the side of the ducting. So listen, I am going to... Damn it. Let's just... Now I can't hear that noise. It's not making that rumbly noise. just by pulling this. Having said that, look, the belt has actually slipped where it was playing, where it should be. Oh, sorry, I just got my fingers caught in the belt and the drum, and the motor, I should say. I'm really confused. You know what's really confusing me? Have a look at all of the marks on this bowl. This is from the belt, so that's a belt mark here. The belt is currently here, but there's also a belt mark here and there's a belt mark there. What the hell? Why would there be a belt mark all the way over there when the... Why? Like if you follow the belt up, why would there be belt marks all the way over there? That's really weird. I didn't expect this machine to, you know, have so many mysteries around it, but that actually sounds pretty good. In fact, you know what we should do? We should turn this on. Let's turn it on, even though this computer looks dodgy as F. Let me just put you here. How can we actually... I'm going to go and get some cable ties, guys. I'm going to actually cable tie this computer up here so it's out of the way. I think that's good enough. Normally I wouldn't recommend people do this, but I'm going to turn it on because I want to actually hear if it's still doing it, because I can't hear it now that I'm moving it after I've just messed around with it. Let's have a go. All right. All right, let's give it some juice. Definitely sounds a lot better than it did before. I don't know why though, I don't know what's changed. I've got that nice squeaky noise, which I'm not really too concerned about. It's looking okay. All right. Listen, I'm just going to pull it apart. I don't want it anyway. I'm just going to pull everything apart and see what it looks like the deeper we get in. Unplug it. I mean, even all of this plastic housing here is all cracked. I'd say that's from being pushed. Oh man, oh check this out. Look at all of that. It's just so, look at the back though. Look at that. Well, one thing's for certain, they actually got a lot of use out of it. I mean, I had a look on that red one. I thought it was only a couple of years old. It had 2010 written on the heater. I think it was the heater. So I'd imagine this one would be either older than that or the same age. So they, that's 11 years. Still, they don't build them like they used to. Okay, now before I set you up over there, let me just show you. This is what I was talking about once again. Can you see how far this armature is kind of that way? It's not centered at all. Like that just looks really weird to me. But let me just set you back here. All right, now I'm just spinning this. Sounds beautiful, sounds really nice. Now putting my hand in here, I've actually taken the tension off, by the way. Listen, I'll put it back, no, it doesn't matter. But there's no movement in there. There's no movement at all. And in fact, this part here that holds the motor down, you know how I had to release these two screws? It's on an angle as well, like it looks like it's bent, like the other one was. But there's no movement in this motor like there is in the other one. But I don't know what that noise was. You know, it sounded terrible. These wheels are great. So listen, I'm not sure. I'm confused. I think what I'm going to do, because there's no, listen, let me take this belt off here and we'll check that. We'll check for let me just grab a screwdriver. We'll check that because there might be movement in here. You're just not feeling it because this belt is tight up against this this wheel. So let's just take this off. Come on, there we go. Nice. Now let's move it. Still nothing. There's no movement in this armature at all. So there's no weird noise. I'm not even hearing anything weird coming out of this fan box here. But when I do look at this part of the motor, it's kind of spinning, wobbling, but I don't think that means it really anything. What I'm going to do is take this motor out. I'm going to get the air compressor out and kind of blow it out, clean it up a little bit, and I think I'm going to stick it in the other machine, to be honest with you. There we go. Man, check the rust out on the back nut. You see that nut? I actually can't see what you're seeing. Hang on a second. Yeah, there you go. You can see it. Look at that. Look at the rust. It's completely rusted on. I don't know how I'm going to get it off. But that's got a bit of a wobble to it as well, a bit of a warp. But anyway, I'm going to pull this motor out now. You know what? I keep getting these overwhelming thoughts that all it is are these, you know, wheels. I mean, there's a bit of movement in there. And there's movement in that one. I wonder if it's the same with the other machine. I know there was some movement. And maybe it's got nothing to do with the motor at all. But hey, it doesn't really matter. We're learning some stuff anyway. But I am going to replace that machine's motor with this motor. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to pull the air compressor out and clean this up first. At least we can rule out the motor, because this, like I keep saying, there's no wobble in this motor at all, whereas the other motor has a lot of wobble. I mean, this is silent compared to the other one. There's no wobble. This is silent. Okay, so I'm not even gonna attempt to take that fan off. It can stay on there. The chair. Let me just go and fire up the air compressor and blow it out, and we'll quickly replace it. Alright, so I always do this. I'm just going to put an O on here. Means original. In fact, I'm going to put I-M for Iron Man. Alright, just in case. So, let me feel that. Yeah, you can hear it straight away. So I'm going to replace this now. It won't take long. Listen, what I might do quickly, before I go any further, I don't think I'm going to bother you guys with this. I'm going to unplug these wires so that I can take this entire chassis outside and blow it down. I'm going to use the blower, the air blower. If you're wondering, remember I mentioned that all that white powder that was here? Well, that's basically from, you know, the door here. So the bowl gets pushed into here and it just rubs in there. It's just nice and soft, just wearing away slowly and slowly. So I am just going to disconnect these wires. So now this is free. I'm taking it outside. I'm going to blow it down, clean it up a bit. Actually, change of plan. You may as well watch. Alright, that'll do it. Looks good. Looks really nice. It's got to look nice. It's going to be for me. Alright, so I'll just set you back here. I'll just put you here for the time being. Pull this inside. Man, it's so heavy. It's actually really heavy considering there's only half of it there. Okay, I'm going to start by putting this motor back in. Okay, this is when I'm happy that I put a 0, an O on there. So, actually I could have identified it easily because all I needed to do was look for the rusty nut on the back here. That is definitely not loose. that fan. This fan, let's have a, in fact, it doesn't hurt to, it wouldn't hurt to kind of, it's too big. I'm just going to grab a spanner and just make sure that this fan is nice and tight. I'm sure it is. But yeah, it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't hurt to double check this kind of stuff while you're here. Man, yeah, that's not getting any tighter than that. Oh, okay, so let's do this. And just looking at that now, that is dead center. I can't explain this whole centering part of the armature into this fan ducting here, but it wasn't centered on either of them. But now it is, so I guess that's a good thing. Okay, let's find the screws, which I can't find. Here we go. Should I put this on now? Yeah, I'm going to put this on now. This was really difficult to put on before. See, it keeps moving over. There we go. Alright, so that's basically the motor replaced. Power to the motor, and we had an earth wire here. Slip that back on. Spin this. Sounds good to me. There's no wobble, there's no sound. Okay, so there you go. Now we have to put it back together. My greatest fear is we put it back together and it's actually these things. I can't see how it can be these things though. Honestly, I can't see how it can be these things. But we'll soon find out. So I'm going to set you up and do a time lapse again. In fact, I'm going to take this out as well and clean this up, the back of my, damn it, sorry. My gimbal's spacked out. I think the gimbal's run out of batteries. Guys, sorry about that. I'm going to have to put it on charge. I might have to use my just tripod and do the rest with the tripod. But yeah, I need to clean this up first. It's not going to take long. I'll just take that out and hit it with the air compressor and be back in a sec, and we will put this back together. We got all of our parts over here. It's crazy. See what I mean? See this bowl? See how it's got one belt mark on that bowl? And this one that's out here, it's got like 3 or 4. That stumped me. That's probably, to me, is the biggest mystery of them all. I mean, it's not like, I mean, that looks like, this is the right mark right here, this first one, and these two over here. They've been going around and around for a long time. That doesn't just happen with one, you know, rotation. That's just really strange. I can't work out how that's happened. I'll think about it. But yeah, I'm just going to clean that back and then we're going to put it back together. I'll do a time lapse. I'll try to put it back together. And anyway, put this gimbal on charge as well. G'day guys, future Isky coming at you. And I've just made an amazing discovery. It's actually 3 weeks later, by the way, and I'm currently editing my video, this video that you're watching now. And that entire drum with the belt marks, why those belt marks are on the drum, well, I've just worked it out. They are not belt marks. Let me play a little bit of this footage, previous footage that I you've just seen, and look at the computer and look at where the computer is. Check out there's a big chunky transformer, a massive transformer, and look at exactly where that transformer is in relation to those marks. Now, come back to me, come back here. I pulled this computer off that dryer. I've been holding it because it works perfectly fine. But check this out. I remember when I was pulling it off, I was looking at this transformer thinking, man, I'm really surprised that this computer works. I mean, that's all kind of stuffed. It's blown out. And anyway, look at that. It's actually ground down. So that bowl's been spinning and it's been rubbing against this transformer. I'm assuming it's been arcing. It's probably completely live. And look at that. Check out that bit of it's been ground down there and there. So yeah, that I'm surprised the entire machine wasn't live. You know, it's very dangerous. Now there was another belt mark. Well, I assumed it was a belt mark, and I couldn't work out what it was from. It doesn't seem to be any more broke. Oh, I found it. I've worked out what the other mark is. There's another mark on the machine, and look at this. Check out this heat sink, and look at that shiny spot. I'm assuming when I go back and look at my footage that this is probably lined up with that third mark that I was unsure about. But there you go. Mystery solved. just break into that time lapse and listen to this. That's perfect. I can't hear anything. I can't hear any little vibration or knocking or anything. That just, I think we're on a winner. I think we're on a winner. So excellent. I'll set you back and finish this up. Well, there we go. What do you think? All done. It went together so easily. Like, it went together so easily that I'm kind of concerned that I didn't put it together correctly. But compared to that Fisher and Paykel, man, this thing was a dream. Anyway, let's try it out. I haven't actually powered it up. I've put some power to it. So let's see if we just wasted all that time. First of all, let's just see if it powers up. Yep, love it. Excellent. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. Let's just hit play. Yes! Yes! I mean, that's it. That's exactly what we want. Can you hear that? Well, can you not hear all of that vibration sound? That is exactly how it's supposed to sound. Awesome! We fixed it! We fixed it! Oh, excellent. So happy with that. There you go. That's my new machine. I'm keeping that one. I'm going to hold on to it. It's going in my collection. Amazing. Well, there you go. That's my Iron Man machine. I love it. That machine outside, that white one, I'm going to just strip it, pull the good parts off it, and hold those parts in case I ever need them, you know, to fix this machine in the future. So there you go. There you go. I want to say thanks for watching, guys. I know it's been another long one. Please, you know, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.